and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the Broforce Squad. So, before we begin, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. This is actually the second time we're doing this episode, because Mr. Hornacek over here decided he was going to have one too many and delete the episode. Hornacek, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to explain yourself, and then we're going to rip you a new one. So go.
Jeff Hornacek here. I appreciate, Banner, you sent it over. When a man makes a mistake in his life, he can go one of two ways. He can either deny it and act like it didn't happen, or he can man up and take responsibility. I'm going to do the first one. If that didn't happen, no fault of my own, I don't even know what we're talking about. So, send it back to you.
All right. Superman himself, we got Mike Geiger on the pod again tonight. Geiger, I know you got some shit to get off your chest here. Just rip into it. We're all men here. Let Hornacek have it.
Well, we're definitely the Cleveland Browns of the podcast because it's next man up. If you make one fucking mistake, not only you're not quarterback next week, you're not also hosting because he's usually our host. And hopefully he'll be in the corner. He won't say much. And afterwards, I'll probably do whatever needs to be done on this podcast so we don't fucking lose all of our content.
And the good thing is we can't have worse depth than the Cleveland Browns. At least the next guy we bring in might be somewhat competent at a podcast.
Our tape after this would be in better hands of Hillary Clinton. Maybe she wouldn't fucking delete it than this fucking idiot. This is terrible.
Even she's like, how did you delete that? I don't even understand.
Yeah. You mean you don't have a home server that you back that shit up on?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
The backup.
And as Geiger said, I'm your host tonight, the mad scientist himself, Brian Banner. Bros, let's just get into it. We got some stuff that we got to get off our chest here. Hornacek, what you drinking tonight?
I'm glad you asked, Banner. Tonight we are going with a nice, crisp, cold Pinot Grigio. Just had my dinner and figured, why not don't want to upset the tummy, so let's just go with a nice, soft Pinot Grigio tonight.
Geiger, make us a little bit more manly again.
Yeah, now that we got some more women listening to our podcast, I'm drinking a Revolver Blood and Honey that most people probably haven't heard of because it's just local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But it's I call it kind of a Blue Moon on steroids. Really, really good beer with an orange slice even. I don't do that, though, because I have a penis.
We know a lot about steroids on this podcast. I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
don't ever test me. I'll fail.
Absolutely. And speaking of steroids, guys, first segment of the show, we got chest day. We all know that's the most important days of the week, or chest days. We're going to throw a couple 45s on the side, and we're just going to hit some stuff out. If you guys listen to the pod, you guys know we did a Luke Cage 1 through 4 and a Luke Cage 5 through 8 review. We're going to give this chest day to Luke Cage. We're going to finish the series out with the last few episodes, kind of how we felt, what kind of taste it left in our mouth, and where we like the Netflix series to go. Geiger, I'm going to throw you the rock. Where are we at with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you touched on that, too. And if you haven't heard me and Banner's take on 1 through 4, please do that. And for some reason, we had Hornacek come on from 5 through 8. But please check all those. He didn't delete them. They are live.
Yeah.
So you can check those out on our Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, however you guys look. So finishing it out. The end fight, I thought, was pretty good with Diamondback. I thought it finished a little better than I thought that it was going to. In the middle, as I said, through 5 through 8, it left a pretty bad taste in my mouth. I just didn't know where they're going. They're going a bunch of different directions. I didn't really like any of them. I didn't like the death of Cottonmouth. Now, the last fight scene was pretty cool. I liked it better in the movie Friday, though, because basically it fucking just felt like the Friday fight scene. I liked Method Man showing up and doing a song just stricken to Luke Cage. That was fucking pretty cool that they had a new song in there, kind of like how Suicide Squad did with Rick Ross. But nothing connected for me. You guys kept fucking talking about it all goddamn series, but if I have to hear one more thing about how I have a lawyer friend that needs to show up and fucking Matt Murdock isn't on the screen, or even Foggy's dumbass, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Connect it some way. At the end, just pulling a piece of paper off a telephone pole to say that you're doing Iron Fist next isn't connecting it. They should have had Justin Hammer show up. They could have had Matt Murdock show up. Foggy show up. A lot of opportunities for someone to show up.
But Nurse Claire showed up.
Who the fuck cares that Nurse Claire showed up? She shows up in fucking every one, but she doesn't connect. Is she even I don't think she's even a real character in the Marvel Universe. I think she's a combination of two other characters from the comics.
There are 3 night nurses in the comics. Claire
Yes.
Temple is one of them.
Yeah, so Marvel nerds, there you go. We need to have actually someone show up. And let me tell you something. Me as a kid going to a comic book store, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I need to get this comic because Night Nurse fucking shows up in it. She was in a Daredevil comic I read last week. You need to have these people come together. And I understand you're going to do that for the Defenders, but the way they left it, I thought that it was really cool and hip-hop and street for the first 4 episodes, and they went totally away from that from the death of Cottonmouth, which was the best villain the only villain they fucking had. Shades got worse as it went. As I said, Mariah got arrested at the end. Shades should have got arrested too for fucking destroying the whole fucking show because he was terrible.
Yeah.
But at the very end of the day, it got a pass for me. It was okay. I kind of enjoyed watching it at the end. Just the acting in depth wasn't as good as Daredevil. Like the 8th actor there wasn't, Ben from the Daily Bugle. That was really fucking good. But it was okay.
All right. Hornacek, I would give it to you next, but you're getting pushed off to last because you deleted the last one.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to go first. I actually liked Luke Cage as a whole. I'm in the same boat. The first 4 episodes were hands down the strongest. Middle of the pack was weak. The last 5, I liked him. I didn't love him. I didn't hate him. I liked him. They kept me entertained. They kept the show moving forward. Definitely better than that middle section. They obviously were setting up for a second season or possibly the storyline they're going to go through on Defenders, which I'm okay with, kind of, I guess. I wish that they would have shown or at least hinted at how Diamondback set up Luke Cage, which they never did. And that was kind of like, it was there the whole time. All they had to do was have somebody open up that fucking file, and instead they have chess player guy fucking pick it up and
Bobby
they go, oh,
Fish.
well, that's it. Yeah. And then you have him getting arrested by the U.S. Marshals. And again, well, why is he getting arrested? What did he do other than breaking out of Seagate? Like, why was he there in the first place? He says he's innocent and he's done running, but obviously something is going to have to happen before Defenders because he can't be in jail for Defenders, right?
You wouldn't think so, but...
Yeah, and maybe Iron Fist is going to break him out in his season. I don't know, but something has to happen. I don't like how they ended that portion of it. Claire, I hate that they had her have a romantic relationship with him, and they kept going, oh, let's get coffee. Oh, let's get coffee. No, how about we just fucking fuck? Because that was just dumb.
That's what they mean by coffee, right? Am I not mistaken? Does that mean sex?
Yeah, but he doesn't even like coffee.
Yeah, that's true.
Jose?
She brought that up. She was like, for someone who doesn't like coffee, you keep asking me to get coffee a lot. And I was like, well, he's trying to get in your pants, Claire. Let's figure it out.
It's kind of like in college when you ask a chick to come over and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Like, basically, we just want to have sex.
And then she comes over and you don't even have a TV. And you're like, well, what'd you think?
I own these DVDs. I've seen them all at least 5 times. Don't really care about watching them with 6. I just want in your pants. That's pretty much what you call
Men are pigs.
The last thing, which I know I'm going to get some feedback on this from you guys, I actually like the way they ended Shades. Despite how terrible of an actor he is, him killing those guys in the elevator scene was, I thought, very, very strong, very, very good. Despite how shitty Theo Rossi played Shades, if you look at the character himself, I liked it. And I also liked how they started turning Mariah into this kind of manipulator and strong-arm person, where she knew she was going to get arrested, so she got ahead of it and goes, oh, I'm going to get arrested, but then this is going to happen, and now you guys are going to look stupid. And I like how they actually started to develop her character a little bit towards the end of the season, obviously after Cottonmouth died. That's all I got on it right now. All right, Hornacek, I guess you can go.
All right, so I'm off my probationary period, I guess, now.
No, you're still on probation.
Which, if I was an NFL player...
We're like Ohio State, where your quarterback gets a DWI, and Urban Meyer's like, we set him a game, okay?
Look, we're disciplining him internally, all right? You guys don't even want to know how many stairs he has to run. Luke Cage, for me, was an up-and-down show. I think it did something, it was a little ambitious, and tried to do something that the other Netflix shows hadn't done, which was juggle a few different villains. Now, I know people out there are going to say that, yeah, Daredevil Season 2, I guess, technically had the hand, and Kingpin was still involved. But for this one, really, at a different point in the show, Cottonmouth, Black Mariah, and Diamondback were all the main antagonists that Luke Cage was going up against, which in a show like this that's serialized and compacted to 13 episodes is difficult to do because the strength of telling a story in the Netflix medium is that you can focus on one villain over the course of 13 episodes. Things that worked for me, I think Mike Colter is literally Luke Cage ripped off of a fucking comic book panel and put onto my screen. The guy looks bulletproof. He has incredible presence on screen. Sometimes they write him a little inconsistent. He's this sort of messiah, very righteous character. Luke Cage in the comics is a hero for hire. He is good at heart, but if you pay him $50, he'll rip your neighbor's mailbox out of the ground that day if he has to. And
It's a felony.
I mean, allegedly, if he did it, if he got eyes on him doing it.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
Exactly. The Cottonmouth was an incredible villain. And it does suck that just as we kind of got stakes and invested in him, he was taken out of the show from us. And Mariah, especially towards the end, like you guys were saying, when she kind of came into her own, worked as a villain. I thought Diamondback was really campy. He almost felt like he was sort of ripped out of a Joel Schumacher show. And Theo Rossi, I've already ended his career enough on a previous episode. I'm not even going to dignify him with a response. It was a good show. I think if it didn't have the other Netflix shows having come before it, we probably would not be as hard on it. I also really liked the setting in Harlem and loved the music. I think that was not the score, which I thought was pretty weak, but the music, best music of any Netflix show so far at all. I'm not so much interested in a season 2, but I am interested to see what Luke Cage does in The Defenders. Again, it was a show that really just kind of left you not as excited as you were in the previous Netflix shows, but there were definitely some positives that I took away. It was not a waste of 13 hours, but if it didn't have the Marvel logo attached to it, I don't know if I would have been as invested and made it through, to be honest.
Well, to take it off on a little bit of a tangent, just one thing about the ending. It ended the way it started, which was my problem with Civil War, too. It ended with him in Seagate, started with him in Seagate. But where does Netflix go from here? I'm going to just tell you guys this. I think Iron Fist is very risky just because to the average comic book kind of person that's kind of into comic book movies but into a lot of other movies, so not us, not sick people.
Right, not disgusting nerds like us.
Luke Cage probably in their top 20 of favorite comic book characters. I wouldn't even say Iron Fist is in most people's top 50. I would just throw that out there. And that's the next one you're going with. He's not very well known, and Luke Cage is more well known than he was, but his origin story wasn't. And what pisses me off is you have Blade just waiting in the wings, which everyone knows him. They remember a couple good movies in the 90s and the shitty Blade Trinity, but they know him. I don't know why they're not using him. Going off on that, though, Punisher is going to be awesome. You got my boy from SOA doing that, directing that. I think Defenders will be very well done, but Iron Fist just coming out of it, I think, is very risky, especially coming off this show, which I think is kind of like a banner. I think this show is kind of like a Man of Steel. Some people liked it. Even me, who's a big DC fan, is like, it gets a pass. It gets a pass. But where do you guys think the Netflix shows are going to go from here? Obviously, we get an Iron Fist, but is it going to get better? Or is it going to kind of stay in a tangent?
Yeah, I think that I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there comparing it to Man of Steel. It's one of those you either love it or hate it. Again, being a Marvel fan that I am, it does kind of get a pass. Now, Hornacek, you touched on this a little bit, the heroes for hire aspect of it. They didn't touch on that at all, but yet it kept coming up. And I hope that was just them planting a seed for Iron Fist.
Right.
That where somehow Iron Fist and Luke Cage are going to meet up, and that is going to be a hero for hire season. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that's something that was kind of weak in this season. Where they go from here, I'm actually excited for Iron Fist. Like you said, he's not quite of a as well known of a character, but I think that could be going for it because there aren't as big of expectations as we had for a Daredevil or a Luke Cage, where people know them, so they have higher expectations. People are like, "Who's this kung fu white dude?" That can just make his hand glow and beat the fuck out of anybody. And I think that kind of has something going for it. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit out there that they may be able to touch on. And again, if they're going to have to connect Luke Cage and Iron Fist. They have to. Like, there's no way that they don't. If they don't, I will be thoroughly disappointed.
Well, I'll say this. Iron Fist and Danny Rand specifically, for the people that give this show a chance, I think he honestly has, tied with Luke Cage, one of the best origin stories of the street-level heroes. It's a shame because in Luke Cage's season, I know we were introduced to him in Jessica Jones, but we didn't get to see his origin really, which him being framed and sent to Seagate, I think is one of the coolest parts of his story. But having said that, Danny Rand will have a really nice tie into the Netflix universe because in season 1 of Daredevil, Madame Gao references Shunlao, the disappearing city in Japan where she's from, and where the dragon emblem that's on all the drugs that she's pushing, that's where that comes from. So his story will tie into that really well. And just his origin inherently with his father being betrayed and he leaves New York for 20 years and comes back looking for revenge. That could be a really cool show to see. What I think we all are really wondering for the Defenders is we don't have a definitive release date, so like how much setup are we? Because the tough thing with the Netflix shows is they focus so much on the individual character, and Geiger, you almost said this was a positive and a negative, and not so much on setting up the rest of the Netflix universe. So when the Defenders starts, I really don't want it to be a situation like Thor and the Avengers where they just say like, oh, I'm here now, don't worry about how that happened, because I know it doesn't really connect to my previous story. So I'm going to be kind of interested to see what they do with these, because we really are running out of time in terms of announced shows on their slate. I think Iron Fist and Punisher are the only 2 Netflix shows coming out before the Defenders. I could be wrong on that. But
so is Punisher coming out before the Defenders now?
It has to be because they've already started filming.
Because they've already filming.
There's no Daredevil coming out before no, okay.
And I don't
believe... It's just those 2. They have no time to do that. It takes time to... Especially the way these are directed. Very well directed.
Right.
Say that.
Well, and they haven't announced that... They haven't announced that they're doing a Jessica Jones 2 or a Luke Cage 2, right?
Right. And well, the interesting thing, too...
They more or less said, we're going to do them, we just don't know when, right?
The interesting thing, too, this week, with Feige essentially confirming that the TV characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Defenders will be in Infinity War.
I just want to, real quick, pause that thought. I want to point out, we would not know this if you hadn't deleted the pod.
Yeah, that's God's work. That's the work of the Lord.
So God deleted the pod?
Yeah, essentially. For those of you who don't know, Kevin Feige was asked this past week 2 things. So they said, will the TV characters be appearing in Avengers Infinity War? And his quote was, they're all there. And then the other quote was, well, how does that happen? And he said, spoilers. That's all Kevin Feige said. So I'm wondering if when they show up in Infinity War, I don't think any of us are under the impression that they will have a large part in the story, nor could or should they. But I don't think they will be the Defenders when they show up in that. So that'll be kind of interesting, too, how that plays into them all kind of uniting in the Netflix world.
Do you think they'll create the Defenders in Infinity War?
I don't think they have time to do that. And I think half of the Defenders has to be them becoming the Defenders. What do you think?
You'll get one scene with Luke Cage just killing someone, and that's it. It'll be like a 5-second scene, and that'll be him. It's not their story. And I honestly, I love the Netflix series. I love Daredevil, love Punisher, but whenever I'm going to go to that movie, I really don't care what they're doing. I want to see how they're going to tie up this whole Avengers thing, honestly.
Yeah, so I think as fans, it'll be really, really cool to see them for a little bit, but I don't think we should reasonably expect more than maybe a scene or 2 with all of them.
Real quick, Hornacek, let's rate Luke Cage.
So I'm going to go on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give it a 7.5, just for some perspective. Daredevil season 1 and 2 have to be 10s for me. A 7.5 is a really good grade. If you would have given it to me based on the first 8 episodes, I would have given it a 9.5. But after Cottonmouth died, things just sort of faded kind of into obscurity for me. So it was still a good show. I'm really glad I watched it. And I don't think Marvel failed with this, but it just very tough to live up to the expectations of the other Netflix series.
Geiger, where you at?
I'm going to give it a letter grade just to fuck everything up. I'm going to give it like a C-.
Wow, close to a D.
Basically, it's passing, but who cares? Marvel Netflix have been fantastic. The first 2 seasons of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, I heard was good. I still haven't watched it. I don't think I will. But you can have something that just kind of gets by. It's the problem with DC where you have 4 movies in a row that just gets by and you're waiting like, when's going to be the fucking big one here? Now, seeing that though, Iron Fist has to be good. Iron Fist has to be at least a B+. Luke Cage, at the very first, I would say it was a B+, the first 4 episodes, because no first 4 episodes can be an A, because it's all about what happens at the end, what you build me up to. And you're building me up really good. Once Cottonmouth died, then everything fucking went downhill for me. He was the one that kept me watching, actually. After that, I suffered through this show, really.
He was tremendous, I have to say.
He was definitely the MVP of the show. I gave it a B-. Obviously, Daredevil 1 and 2 were both A's. I gave Jessica Jones a B+. So this was a B minus. It was kind of like what you said, Geiger. It was just kind of there. They didn't hit it out of the park, but it was I think it was a good placeholder to get us to the next step. And honestly, how many times has Marvel struck gold? This is their first almost whiff, but they didn't even whiff. I mean, it was a double. Yeah, I mean, it's still a double. So
it's a broken bat single over the second baseman's head.
Yeah, and the Mandarin would have been like a
The
guy.
box score tomorrow looks like a base rip. So
It looks like a line drive in the box score. The Mandarin in Iron Man 3 would have been like a guy hits a ground ball and starts running around the bases incorrectly. He goes to third base first. That would have been
fielder's choice. Fielder's choice.
Yeah.
you need to give that up, dude. Just give up Iron Man.
Never. As Michael Caine would say, never.
All right, guys, we got some good reps in. We're just gonna throw some stuff in the blender. We're gonna shake it up because after you get a good chest day in, you got to get your protein in.
Absolutely.
So next segment is protein shake time. First ingredient we're gonna throw in the blender is Star Wars Rogue One. Last week we got the last trailer for Rogue One. It dropped. What are our thoughts on that? Kind of what are we looking forward to? What did we like about the trailer? What did we not like? If there was anything.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Look at that. We're getting fancy. We've got sound effects since Hornacek deleted the pod now.
The budget has gone up lately, guys. What can we say?
Geiger, let's go to you. Where are we at with the new Rogue One trailer?
By the way, the Imperial March, whenever you know you're going to have sex with your wife, that's how you need to walk into the bedroom to that.
I've tried it before. She gets scared.
She should. That means it's doing its job.
Yeah, but that's because you're dressed up in a full-on Darth Vader costume.
Yeah, that maybe takes her out of the mood a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit much.
I do put on the mask. I tried to put on the mask once for having sex, and she's like, no. I'm like, okay, well.
God, women.
All right.
Wait, was it a Kylo Ren mask or was it a Darth Vader mask? Because that's
no, I was having sex with a beautiful woman that's my wife. I had a Darth Vader mask on. Good question, though. Thanks for asking. Now, one little saying for this trailer is Disney goes dark. Again, kind of with Civil War. But my question is Disney going to go dark 2 times in a row? Because apparently this movie is going to be really dark, and apparently the next Star Wars movie, the Star Wars, what are we on, Episode 8 now, is supposed to be really dark too, because it's supposed to be their empire. I don't see them going dark 2 times in a row, but it looks that way, which I applaud. I love fucking dark shit. Vader will be used very sparingly, to say the least. I would maybe say 3 scenes.
Yeah.
I'm saying with like one scene, he's going to say maybe 2 or 3 sentences. Another scene, he might kind of death grip someone.
You just need to feel his presence, I think.
Force choke. Sorry, everyone was like, death grip? You don't know shit about Star Wars. Sorry. Force choke someone. And the other scene, I hope we get a full-ass fucking fight scene where he's like just taking down bitches. That's going to be awesome. Now, the whole story, I don't know too much about it yet, just because I read all the books after Return of the Jedi. I know that they're kind of getting the plans to the Death Star, and it's kind of like an Ocean's 11-y type fucking war kind of movie. It looks fantastic. Wonder if we're going to get a new Leia, because Leia plays a big key in this, I've heard, but I don't know if anyone's been cast as her. The cast looks fantastic. The trailer looks really fucking dark. I'm just wondering if they're going to stay on that tone, but the trailers have got me even more intrigued than I was for The Force Awakens, if you can believe that.
Wow.
I'm more pumped for this movie than I am for The Force Awakens when I went and saw that.
So I can comment a little bit on this. Leia's father, Bail Organa, played by Jimmy Smits, is reprising his role from the prequel trilogy.
It was in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, great actor. Was also in a season of Dexter.
Yeah.
And people are saying that it would be kind of a cool nod if he says something to the Rogue One group as they go to get the plans, like, we'll meet up back on Alderaan, which, as we all know, in A New Hope, spoilers, if you haven't seen Star Wars A New Hope, the Death Star blows up Alderaan.
If you haven't seen Star Wars A New Hope, then you're listening to the Ron podcast.
You're very lost.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're very lost on the internet right now.
Go listen to Fan Bros.
I'll say that. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a really shitty podcast. What I'm really excited for about this, Gareth Edwards, the director, has said that this is basically Saving Private Ryan in the Star Wars universe. It's a boots-on-the-ground type, sort of gritty, more visceral take. It's not as shiny and as pretty as some of the other Star Wars movies we've seen. But I think the thing that has me most excited is as the first anthology film that Lucasfilm has made, basically, it's not one of the episodes in the Skywalker version of Star Wars. It's still connected in canon, but not furthering that story. I think this is a great idea to do a one-off with. It's a cool story to tell. It's a small group of rebels at the beginning of the rebellion and the formation of it, trying to steal the plans for the Death Star because they know that if that fucking thing gets built, it is game over. And it looks awesome. Like Geiger said, it's basically like Ocean's 11 in the Star Wars universe mixed with kind of a war movie. And yes, I know that we should go in expecting not that much of Vader, but I just really want to see Vader in his prime, which we didn't get much of in the
We've
previous...
never seen.
We really haven't in the previous Star Wars movies. I just want to see him where everyone in the Empire is afraid of him or plotting to somehow circumvent his power to get in the good graces with the Emperor, and then I want to see him kill like 4 or 5 people for literally no reason, as disgusting as that sounds to say.
Banner, just to jump in real quick, talking about Vader, and I've talked about this on a previous podcast that we were on, this is a very unique thing that they have going, because let's just say they did an X-Men movie or they did a Batman movie 20, 30 years from now. There's no goddamn way Affleck or Hugh Jackman could be playing Wolverine or Batman. But James Earl Jones isn't the actor of Darth Vader, he's just the voice actor. So back in the 70s, when they couldn't do as cool of fight scenes, they can do more badass fight scenes, but since James Earl Jones still has the same fucking awesome
voice,
incredible voice,
they can just make you feel like you're in 1978 again. It's fantastic. It's something that you'll never, ever, ever fucking see again in theaters. To surprise something like that, have the same actor playing him because he's not dead. It doesn't matter that he's out of shape because he's just a voice actor. Is fantastic.
And I think you said this. I think you said this on the infamous Deleted Pod. They should just have James Earl Jones read the dictionary so that he could be. Yeah, so he could be and record him so he could be Vader forever. Because he is Vader. That's another one of those ones that will never, ever be anybody.
To tie into another James Earl movie, he should be Vader forever.
Okay. So I'm going to go off and talk about the Rogue One trailer here. I think it looks fantastic. In the first trailer, we got a lot of just blowing shit up. And we literally, if I didn't know that it was about stealing the plans of the Death Star, I wouldn't know it was about stealing the plans of the Death Star. That trailer gave you absolutely fucking nothing.
Right. The epitome of a teaser.
Yes. And I don't know if that had there was rumors that they did like 60% reshoots, and when Disney executives saw the movie, they were like, if this had a story, it would be terrible. I don't think that they watched the same movie that we're going to get, because now that we have this second trailer, it looks fantastic. They laid it all out for us. You have whatever the girl's name is. Her dad is building the Death Star, but he doesn't want to. She's in jail. She gets broke out. The rebels go, we need somebody that doesn't give a fuck about anything to go and steal these. You're perfect. And we get just this crazy band of misfits to go and continue the story. They're going to fill in the missing pieces that we don't have from the episodes. So we have the prequel trilogy where you have Vader coming up. Then we have this big lapse in time where we don't really know what happened, other than somehow the rebels got the plans, and then we have Luke Skywalker and he blows up the Death Star. We're filling in some holes there, which I think is a great idea. I think what I want is a lot of Vader just killing people, we're not going to get that, and this is why we're not going to get a lot of Vader. We don't have a Jedi to fight Vader.
Right.
So we're not going to get a cool fight scene. And we're going to get just Vader commanding everybody, and literally everybody in the universe is scared of this motherfucker.
I disagree. We saw this in BVS. You don't really need a equal adversary for a cool fight scene. When fucking Affleck went through that wall and beat the fuck out of a bunch of guys to save Martha, that was probably the best scene in the movie. I like to see Vader just kick the shit out of people that are lesser than him and just kill 40 people in the time it takes me to drink a beer. That'd be fucking awesome.
I'll say this. So the time that this takes place in, if you watch the show Star Wars Rebels on Disney XD, obviously that is canon in the Star Wars universe, there are 2 Jedi out there in Kanan and Ahsoka Tano, who the planet Jedha is in this movie where there is a Jedi temple.
Guys, we have no lives because all 3 of us are shaking our heads. We know exactly what we're talking about.
I don't even know why we're bringing this up.
I haven't seen a naked woman not on the internet in 11 years. So if one of them
we all
shows,
have wives and girlfriends is fucking
if one of them shows up in the movie or is at least referenced, I think that would be really cool. But again,
I don't think they will.
As disgusting as it sounds, I wouldn't mind seeing Vader just in the battlefield mowing down pedestrians, really.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds sick to say, but you want it to. Take off the white wig, stop judging.
We all want it. I just don't think we're going to get it.
Now, Banner and Jeff, talking about Leia, and I want to go back to a previous pod, Civil War movie commentary that we did. If you haven't heard that, check it out. But remember when Downey Jr. had that scene where he looked way young?
Yes.
Yes.
What if they did that with Carrie Fisher? But I think it'd be like kind of a Facebook thing where the whole thing would just be a black outline and it said image not available.
Yeah, well, they'd need a budget of $7 billion to make
Because there's no way to make her look younger or better. It's like image not available.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a black just shadow thing walking around just going to say image not available. Like, let's everyone pretend this is Princess Leia. We couldn't. CGI has only come so far.
Yeah, technologies will probably never be there, unfortunately.
All right. Any last thoughts we want to get in on Star Wars? Are we ready to throw another ingredient in the blender?
I want it. That's the only thought that I'll leave you with.
I need it.
I need it. I want it. Give it to me hard. All right. Next ingredient we're throwing in the blender for protein shake time is they have announced a Harley Quinn solo film / Suicide Squad 2 film. Geiger, I'm going to go throw it to you with our DC guy. You know kind of the lowdown on this. What are our thoughts? Where are we at with this?
Why don't you just do one? Why do you need two? I was hoping it's the same thing, but just do one or the other. Having a Harley Quinn movie, is DC honestly just throwing out 20 characters each movie and say, whichever one the fans like, guess what? Congratulations, you're getting your own fucking spinoff. Where is the plan that Marvel had? And I've talked a lot about the fucking cesspool that is fucking Warner Brothers and the shit that goes on over there and how many dumbasses and dildos are over there fucking making decisions. But where's Leto in this? If you actually think for a second that you're going to go on without, and you're thinking, and I know this fucking Warner Brothers boardroom, they're probably thinking, we don't need a Joker because we have Harley and everyone likes Harley. No. Harley's not even in the fucking comics. She's just something that came up in the goddamn 90s. Now, the slate that they have rolled out now, we got Justice League, of course, Wonder Woman coming out. We got a Batman solo film and Aquaman. Honestly, I think all four of those will be good. But whenever I say honestly, I thought Suicide Squad was going to be good, and it wasn't. No Green Lantern. I saw that on Escape. Get the fuck that out of there. You need to do a Justice League Dark movie. And if you don't want to do that, just do a fucking Constantine movie. That would be fucking fantastic.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Everyone that's talking about Doctor Strange right now, and 80% of the people don't even fucking know who Doctor Strange is. They just see Marvel. We could counter that with Constantine.
That's Marvel's Constantine, yeah.
Yes, that'd be very, very fucking good. But we're not doing that. We're doing a Harley Quinn spinoff. I don't understand it. I don't know where the fuck they're going with it. I think I know where they're going with it. They're going to make Jason Todd a woman and make Red Hood a woman. And the Joker, because they already said Harley Quinn killed the Robin in fucking Suicide Squad, I think they're going to push Leto clear out. I love Margot Robbie. She did a fucking fantastic job. But if you take the number one character I love from DC and fuck up the comics, and I'm not talking about a woman, man, color thing, anything. I just love Jason Todd. I love where he's going with this. And you fuck up the comics, I'm fucking done with you. I'll go watch X-Men 8 with the 8th fucking Cyclops in it or something like that on opening night. But I'm not fucking doing it anymore. I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I can't believe you fuckers brought this up. This is disgusting.
We're disgusting.
Well, the worst part is that you've had to do it twice now because Jeff deleted the pod.
You'll probably have to do it
on Jeff. You bring up this shit
just to see you squirm like this. This one may get
this twice.
This one may get deleted too, just to see how uneasy it makes you. I'll go second here, Banner. So here's the thing: Harley Quinn is a great character. Margot Robbie played the role to perfection. But it's interesting because there are so many comic storylines that they could utilize, and Harley Quinn was created by Bruce Timm in the 90s for the animated series, and she was never a comic book character before that, like Geiger said. The one thing that I'm just interested in is how reactive is this just to the fan reaction to Harley Quinn, or how much of it was proactive? Did they have certain options in line before Suicide Squad came out where they had a couple different ideas that they could take the future of the DCEU depending how people reacted? I personally just want to see more of the Joker, so if we get a quote-unquote Harley Quinn movie and the Joker is not a part of it, number one, that doesn't make sense because everything that Harley Quinn has ever done in the show, in the animated series and in the comics, has been either reactionary or somehow involved with the Joker, if they just fucking axe him out, that won't make any sense. Now, I don't want people to say, oh, you don't want to see a female-led superhero movie. That's not true at all. It can be Margot Robbie's movie entirely. She can be the star, but you can't act like the...
You want more of that? Female-led movie? You want some more of that?
God, what could have been with an Alicia Silverstone-led Batgirl
Spin-off
film?
movie? Yeah, what could have been?
It was ripped from our cold hands too soon.
If you guys haven't listened to our Batman and Robin commentary, pause this, go waste 2.5 hours of your life. It'll be probably one of the worst 2.5 hours of your life, but it was so much fun. You guys need to go check it out.
Grab a handle of Jack. That's the only way you're going to get through.
Yeah, you need to be drunk. Listen, we were.
That
Why
film.
shouldn't you
I
be?
was hammered. I called in
Absolutely.
sick to work the next day.
Yeah, I called in just sick because I had to watch that movie. The last thing I'll say, I think this has potential. If they do kind of a Birds of Prey, that could work. But I'm with Geiger. I don't want the Harley Quinn movie to be at the expense of anything else in the universe. Don't ruin the Joker storyline. Don't ruin the Robin storyline. If you want to do something with her, keep it Birds of Prey, her and the Huntress, maybe Black Canary or someone like that working together on a heist or something. That's a cool movie I want to see. But please don't have this reverberate and ruin any other characters. And
They did a Harley Joker rated R Bonnie and Clyde type movie. I think
that'd be incredible.
That'd be awesome. I think what they need to do with Harley Quinn, which I don't think they're going to, Harley Quinn needs to be Marvel's Black Widow. She needs to be in a lot of them, in a lot of the movies, but she can't support her own solo film. If you have her in a movie and it's a solo movie, you have to have the Joker in it. And how do you have the Joker in a movie and not have him be the lead? It just doesn't make sense, especially when Harley Quinn wasn't even from the comics. She was made for a TV show and then was adapted into the comics, which is awesome. And again, she is a fantastic character, and Margot Robbie plays her to perfection. And again, I'm not against having a female lead. Wonder Woman, I think I'm more excited about Wonder Woman than I am any of the other DC films coming up. It looks awesome. I just don't think that you can have Harley Quinn without a Joker, and I don't think that she is a strong enough character to hold her own movie.
Geiger, let me ask this, and I don't think they would do this because they want to make it a big spectacle and throw a lot of money at the budget, but we only got a hint of it, and I was really hoping for a lot more in Suicide Squad of how the Joker turns Harleen Quinzel, his psychologist, into Harley Quinn. What if the movie was like 75% that relationship, that transformation, still focusing on Harley, and then the rest of it could take place later? Would you like that better or no?
That was the one thing I was really interested and excited to see when I went and saw Suicide Squad, is the Harley Quinzel origin story is really fantastic, more so because of what the Joker does to her. Mm-hmm. But they show maybe, and once again,
10 seconds maybe.
Do you want me to fucking get into it again? Warner Brothers fucked that up too, because they have way more content than what they showed in theaters, which if you're a sucker, you'll go fucking buy the DVD and see the more content.
Which we all are, and we're going to do a DVD commentary on it, so...
Yes. So, yes, I would like to see her origin story done again right. I'm sick of shit always being redone. Now, and this is a thing, I'm glad Banner brought this up. This isn't a thing on, I don't think that, I'm not for women having their own movies. I'm very excited for Wonder Woman thing. It's just the thing, if you get the whole DC universe, Harley Quinn is not that big a deal. Now, if Margot Robbie's playing Catwoman or someone like that, I don't want to be quoted because this will be used on a drop. We should have a Catwoman movie because that was a fucking catastrophe. But I think if the right director and stuff, a Birds of Prey movie would be very, very fun.
I think that'd be cool.
That was not in it. That would be fine.
With her, Huntress, Catwoman, Black Canary, that would be sick.
Just having Harley Quinn on herself. Let's be honest. Harley Quinn is a sidekick to Joker. That'd be having
What's the storyline there?
Movie. That'd be if you just had an Alfred movie. It's stupid. It's not anything I want to see.
Can I say the main concern? I don't think Margot Robbie is attractive enough to have her own movie.
Wow.
She's so ugly, right, guys?
I know.
All right, so the third ingredient we're throwing in the protein shake today is last week the new Power Rangers trailer dropped.
Yeah, it did.
And I'm going to go first on this one.
You have to.
I'm so fucking excited for this. I peed not even a little. I peed a lot when I saw it. It is fantastic. It looks awesome. They went dark. They have taken our generation who grew up with watching it from anywhere from like kindergarten to like 6th or 7th grade, and they took that and said, okay, these people are in their mid to late 20s now. Let's make a movie for them. And that's what they did. It looks super dark. With the trailer, I would have liked to see Cranston as Zordon because I think he's going to knock it out of the park like he always does. And I would have liked to see a little bit more Elizabeth Banks. She's my wild card in this. Can she play a villain? I think she can, especially one like Rita, but we'll see. I'm super excited for it, and that's pretty much all I got. When it gets to the end and it looks like that's the first time they're putting on the Power Ranger uniforms. Yeah. I cried a little because it was so nostalgic for me and took me back. And I went and watched 4 episodes of Power Rangers, which is currently on Netflix, just because you have to. And it's great. Where are you guys at on it?
I'll take this one. So Elizabeth Banks, I don't know if any of you out there on the podcast have ever seen the movie she was in called The Uninvited, which is an incredibly creepy movie where she plays a psychotic stepmother. If she can somehow recapture what she did in that film, we're going to see a Rita Repulsa that is creepy as fuck. Now, a few things about this. First off, it's going to be impossible to rival the masterpiece that was the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze. Obviously, we all know that was a huge Oscar snub. Really, there's no flaw in the film, whether it's the story, the cinematics, Goldar's character
terrible.
arc.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
You saw
you, Geiger. It was
saw a different film.
Fucking movie.
Oh my god.
No, but all joking aside, they're taking this movie and they're adapting it to the demographic who grew up with it. Unlike the Ninja Turtles reboot, where they tried to reintroduce it to a younger group of kids, their thought was, and this is a good thought, honestly, if kids see this right now, they're going to think it's stupid as shit, okay?
They're not going to get it.
They're not going to care. Kids, like, I've seen 4-year-olds who shit their pants and also have iPhone 7s. This won't make any sense to them. They don't have any concept of what it means. Bring it back to the people who grew up with it. It has a darker, kind of a teen angst type vibe. If you saw Chronicle, it sort of had that feel. It's about as dark as I think they could go while still making it a tentpole summer film with a big budget. I'm really excited to see it. I know they've changed up a few of the Rangers' personas, but it still is going to be an origin story. I want to see Cranston as Zordon, and when they get in those Zords, I'm going to be belligerently drunk in the theater, screaming and yelling. You will definitely know if I was at the movie theater that you were in.
How excited are you for Bill Hader to
play
to
Alpha?
As well. To play Alpha, yeah.
I'm just really excited for them to say it's Morphin time, and when that fucking guitar riff comes in, and they're about to morph, I'm honestly going to start doing push-ups and crunches in the fucking aisle at my movie theater. And whoever's next to me, I'm just going to have to ask them to go down if they want to fight in the front of the theater, because I get so jacked up, I can't even control it. Geiger, take this. I have too much energy. I can't.
Okay, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. Red Ranger, I think Halloween 97 through 99, and then I was a White Ranger once. But I was very confused, but also kind of surprised and happy watching this trailer. First off, when I first read the cast, and the only people I know were Hader, Elizabeth Banks, and Cranston. Now, Cranston's kind of a wild card. Everyone just remembers it from Breaking Bad, but Malcolm in the Middle, he was actually pretty funny. Elizabeth Banks.
He was awesome in Malcolm. He was also good in Godzilla.
Yeah, he was fantastic, but he can do comedy and he can do serious shit. Elizabeth Banks, most of the stuff I've seen her in, she's a very, very funny comedian. Bill Hader, funny. So
I mean, he's Alpha, so like we're not asking him to do anything. He's gonna say aye, aye, aye.
Yeah, but I thought this was more of a joke movie, like a Starsky and Hutch type
thing.
I did too. Very confused. And when I saw the trailer, I was thinking, okay, this isn't quite the James Van Der Beek, which I don't think any of you guys touched on. If you haven't seen that on fucking YouTube, just type in Power Rangers James Van Der Beek and it'll probably come up.
It's incredible.
And if you ever fucking watch the Power Rangers and you're our age, somewhere in kind of late 20s, that is the fucking greatest thing ever. I would see that fucking movie probably high on drugs, drunken shit, and be like, yes, this is great. Now, it was pretty dark, which I was very surprised at just because of the cast they had. Elizabeth Banks, I've never seen that movie, Jeff. I definitely think she's a Jim Carrey type, though, that's very fucking funny but can go dark when she needs to. Bill Hader, Alpha's not that fucking big a deal, so it doesn't really matter. And Cranston is Zordon, I'm very interested to see as well. They look like they got a young cast of Rangers.
Mm-hmm. Rangers.
I'm I'm excited to see it. I think it's going to be dark. I think they're probably going to do a couple more just simply because Tommy's not in there. Introducing
Right.
the Green Ranger, I think, would be very cool in the sequel. Just because everyone's going to go see this movie. Why would you go see the sequel? Because we got the Green Ranger
And the Dragon Zord and fuck yes.
Put the Green Ranger as a after credit scene.
Oh my god. Tommy shows up like, hey, I'm new at
Yeah.
Angel Grove High. I'm here to bang chicks and do
Do you think
karate.
we'll still have the Angel Grove Gym and Juice Bar?
We better.
Because that was way ahead of his time. You know how everyone like drinks juices now? That was way back in the day. That was before juices were even cool. But that's where they hung out, was the Angel Grove Gym and Juice Bar. Now ask you,
They had like a wrestling mat in the middle of the room half the time, which was
yeah.
awesome.
So like you can get a juice, or you can just go and fucking wrestle around for a little bit. Now asking you guys, who was your favorite Power Ranger? Because I was kind of going from the Red Ranger. But then once Tommy came along, I didn't want to be that guy. But once he turned the White Ranger, I was totally fucking into the White Ranger.
I'll take this. My favorite Power Ranger was definitely Zack, the Black Ranger.
Jeff, I'm sorry, African American Ranger.
Oh my god.
This is a PC show.
I would edit that out, but I needed this public humiliation to learn my lesson.
Who's playing Zack in this one?
I'm not sure, but I know they've changed Zack. He is Caucasian in this, and Billy is now an African American.
No, Zach, I think, is actually a Oriental. Can I say Oriental?
I know Becky G, who plays Trini, is one.
So the Black Ranger is going to be a white guy, and the Blue Ranger's going to be...
Hold on. Okay. Who the fuck's Amanda? I'm confused. I'm looking at IMDb right now.
By the way, guys, just so if you're listening to the pod, we never brag about our preparation. We're just some bros on here going through this. Just
Let's look
like
at the
you.
full cast. Maybe
That
that'll
makes
help.
no sense.
Okay, here we go.
Zack was one
Ludi-
of the best Rangers in the original.
Ludi Lin is Zach Taylor playing the Black Ranger.
Okay, yeah, he is Asian American. All right.
Yeah. We have Montgomery is playing Jason, the Red Rangers. He's
Please
a white.
tweet at us or Facebook us. Because we have a lot of African American listeners. Are you guys okay with this? Because I thought Zack was one of the coolest guys in the fucking original, and that's in no way PC or anything that he's just a Black Ranger. That's the same thing as the Black Panther.
His battle axe was fucking badass.
Yes, he was one of the greatest ones fucking in there.
He was the coolest by
Billy
far.
was the worst Ranger ever.
Fuck you, Geiger. I loved Billy.
And that's why you spent most of high school shoved in a locker, Brian.
No, Billy was awesome.
Yes.
Okay, Billy got them out of so many jams because he was so smart and scientific.
Okay.
You guys just came in guns ablaze and all.
Scientific. You just be like,
We're the
oh,
fucking
maybe
fucking
connect your
love with
radiation
the
and whatever. They don't fucking work.
All right, guys.
Like, get the fuck
We're-
out of here.
We're talking over each other, but the point is Billy sucked.
Fuck you. Billy was awesome.
David Yost, who played the Blue Ranger, we would actually love to have you on the pod if you want to come on. We'll tweet
It'd be
this
really
at you.
cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear your story.
David
He actually
Yost.
has a.
Yeah,
He
David
actually,
Yost.
he actually has a really good story, really cool story.
It's
of
inspirational,
being
it really
on
is.
there. It's very inspirational. If you want to come on, and you're my favorite. Fuck these other guys.
David Yost was the man.
What's his story? He was famous, now he's not anymore. Let's have Corey Feldman on.
We'll talk about it off the pod. Banner, anything you want to add regarding Power Rangers? I think we've covered more socioeconomic and political topics than we planned
It's
to.
gone off the rails. Which is
All I had. I'm really excited. Like I said, I think that they did a very good cast, and they went darker. They're definitely aiming towards the demographic that they need to. I'm going to be drunker than hell on opening night, ready to go.
Let's go.
All right, guys. You guys got anything else you guys want to say about this?
No, I
I
think
think we should all see it opening night and do a pod on it. We should all dress as Power Rangers.
sounds
Call
good.
Billy.
I'll be Goldar, who I've actually heard is in it, and I'm actually excited to see. He'll probably look scary as shit in a modern adaptation of
When
it.
is Goldar? That'd be fucking badass. And Banner, you can't call something that no one else called. No one else called Billy. You got Billy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't try and spruce up the demand for Billy by calling him unnecessarily.
Look, guys. You guys are just mad because Billy was the smartest one. Okay?
All right.
That's all. All right. Well, we're going to move on to probably our...
first. I gotta pee.
Fair enough. Okay, Hornacek, are you going to pee too? So I got to sit here and talk to myself for like 15 minutes like I did on the last pod?
If I have to pee, I'll pee my pants. I'm here with you till the bitter end.
All right.
Or the lager.
We're gonna move into probably our favorite part of the pod. This is when we get to interact with our fans. As you guys know, we're just a few drunk bros talking to ourselves, and we wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. So this is the part where you guys get to send us questions in a little segment we like to call "Do you even lift, brah?
Do you even lift, bruh?
Brah? Brah, do you even lift? Our first, do you even lift, brah?
By the way,
Question.
first off, tweet at us at at Broforce Podcast. We mentioned some other shitty podcasts earlier. At Broforce Squad. Definitely editing.
Broforce Squad, at Broforce Squad on Twitter.
Editing that out.
www.broforcesquad.com.
Facebook, Broforce Squad,
Bro
3
Force
words.
Squad, 3 words. We're on YouTube, Broforce Squad. We got some good reviews and commentaries on there. You guys should check us out. Fuck those other guys. So our first question that we've got is from I Do What I Want.
Yeah, he does.
I Do What I Want asks. Well, he says, and then he asks. Ben Affleck recently said he is unsure if Robin will appear in his solo Batman film entitled The Batman. Is he posturing to trick us on whether this movie is set before or after BVS? Or is this Warner Brothers taking more control of his story than we thought, and he really doesn't know? Hornacek, let's go to you first.
I think he's posturing. Warner Brothers and DC would never bring Ben Affleck in as a director with his track record and try and tell him what the fuck to do. He would not agree to those terms. And I don't, to be totally honest, and I actually like all the DC movies. Not a huge fan of Suicide Squad, but BVS and Man of Steel I was both very pleased with. And I'm really excited for Wonder Woman. So I don't think that they've earned the right to tell Ben Affleck what to do with his film. He knows exactly what's happening. I think he's just trying to mess with us and deceive us on the timeline and playing coy a little bit. There have been some jokes this week about Anna Kendrick possibly playing a version of Robin, but again, I think it's just kind of trying to drum up publicity for the accountant that she's in with him. But Affleck definitely, I think he knows every single comma that's in the script to his movie for the Batman.
Geiger.
Yeah, I think they're going to leave Affleck alone. Now, in the previous pod, which we deleted, this is such a fucking X-Men podcast that we've done one before, but we say it's not counting because we lost it or something. But anyway, sorry to bash on Bryan Singer when I come on here, Banner, but hey, that's who I am. Now, as I said before, I didn't want a woman Robin, but it really depends on where Bruce Wayne's at in his story arc, because we did have a female Robin way later on after Jason Todd and Drake and Dick and all those guys. Who cares? I want to see Nightwing show up.
Please.
Now, it has been confirmed, though, I believe it's been 100% confirmed that burnt Robin suit in BVS is Jason Todd. So, unless the girl's name can be Jason, then maybe he got a new Robin. It could be Barbara Gordon. I don't know. But I think we need to see Nightwing.
It's
because
me, Barbara.
If you're going to do a fucking break-off movie, it needs to be that, a Nightwing movie where he's taking over another city. Now, Affleck, I don't think he's going to get any pushback because, let's be honest, I'm Batman, and since Snyder's, I guess, going out of town, I'm the best director you got on the fucking list. So not only am I the lead star of your movie, I'm the best director you got on the list. I don't think they'll fuck with him too much.
Him and James Wan are close, I'll have to say.
Well, yeah, and I want to call it again. This movie is going to be up for an Oscar. Affleck directing it, The Batman is going to be the first superhero movie to win an Oscar besides, Heath supporting actor or something. It'll be up for an Oscar, I guarantee you, for a director. Because Affleck is on a fucking roll right now.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think Warner Brothers, kind of like you said before, I don't think they have the right or they're in any position to tell Affleck what to do or where he's at. I think that he knows everything that he is, and he can honestly at any point go, fuck you guys, I'm out, if he doesn't like what they say. So he is, again, drumming up publicity and getting people talking about this to figure out, to keep people guessing on what's coming.
Yeah.
So that we don't know what's coming before it comes out. That's what I think. I think we're all kind of in the same boat. Affleck is too good at what he's doing right now. He's red hot. And Warner Brothers can't do that to him.
I like that. I've had enough. I don't mind Snyder as much as some of my DC brethren do, but I'm getting a little sick of him giving me 90% of the fucking movie and then saying, hey, go pay $30 to see it on IMAX on opening night. I'm like, you've already given me so much. I don't mind keeping shit under wraps. Star Wars does it, works out very well. Now, Star Wars, hate to break it to you guys, right now and today, Star Wars, DC, and Marvel are all on the fucking same list. If you just throw out a goddamn Marvel movie, people are going to go see it. If you just throw out a DC movie, people are going to see it. You don't have to give away the whole fucking story. You don't have to give away all the cast of characters either. You can keep some stuff secret, and people are still going to go see these movies.
I was thinking because Snyder has such a penchant for releasing so much of these movies before they come out on social media. The whole Deathstroke reveal. I bet Snyder wanted to reveal that, but he was like, look, I'm getting so much shit for all the things that I'm revealing for these movies. Ben, can you just put this on your Instagram? And he's like, okay, I guess. It seems a bit excessive. He's like, do it.
Instagram, I know we're doing Twitter questions already, but I got a Twitter question for you guys. Have you guys seen the photos that Momoa put on his Instagram from the Justice League rap party?
No. Although I'm not surprised that you are balls deep in Jason Momoa's Instagram.
Yeah, I'm ass deep in Jason Momoa's shit. Justice League came to a rap this week, and they had a rap party that night, and Momoa was shirtless, still with Aquaman paint on him, drinking Guinness with Affleck, The Flash, and Cyborg. And they'll be on our Facebook tomorrow. They're the greatest fucking pictures.
That's how I would go to the rap party. It's still in question.
I thought that's how you go to rap parties.
Well, Momoa has been so crazy with his fucking diet and working out. He said, I'm out of Guinness forever. So I guess he called like the Guinness distributorship and he said, I need like 40 fucking cases for this rap party. And he was just giving everyone a Guinness, like, take a picture with me. He was shirtless the whole fucking time and just drinking Guinness.
Of course.
There's nothing wrong with being shirtless, Geiger.
Never.
Nothing.
Nothing wrong with it. All right. Next Twitter question comes from I'm Fat, So What? Hornacek, was this you?
Ah, come on.
All right. I'm Fat, So What says, I saw Shia LaBeouf got married to some chick he had been dating for a few years. It made me think, who is your favorite / the best actor who was a nut job in real life? Who wants to go first?
I'll take this one. This was a really good question. So I'm Fat, So What? Thank you for this. Because sometimes we've seen the crazier you are as a person, the better actor you are. Like some of the best ones are absolutely insane. We all remember when even like Matthew McConaughey back in the day got arrested playing the bongos naked. So this was
there.
Yeah.
Shit, who hasn't?
If that's illegal, then shit, handcuff me right now. Take me to prison. So this is actually a long list to comb through, and this one really just jumped out at me because I think that this person has found their niche and embraced it. I'm going to say Tom Cruise. So we all know his shit with Scientology and whatever, and that's fine. Whatever religion you believe in, go ahead, practice it. But he's taken a lot of heat for taking it to the extreme at times. But I just love how the dude now knows, look, I had my fun in the late 80s and 90s where I took my roles very seriously. Now I just want to have fun and be an action star. And like Liam Neeson, you can still kick people's ass on screen till you're collecting Social Security checks. Keep doing it, bro. I love it. Make as many Jack Reachers and Mission Impossibles and whatever sci-fi movie you want to pop out every 2 or 3 years where you're fighting aliens.
Can we get a War of the Worlds too?
More worlds. Let's go bring the fight to Jupiter. Retaliation. Might not have even been them in the first one, but I think America knows we shoot first, ask questions later. Rest in peace, Harambe. Just keep making fun action movies, and I'm going to be there. Maybe not opening night, like we'll see what's going on, but I'll be there at some point to check it out.
Okay, mine I'm going to tease a little bit. To make it in Hollywood is very hard, and usually you kind of go on this scale. You start in TV, and then you usually get a villain role next to somebody big like Russell Crowe, and then you get your own movie, and say you play an iconic role like someone, I don't know, maybe like a Johnny Cash, just throwing it out there. And that's very hard to do. And then that movie comes up for an Oscar, and then everyone's like, my God, that actor's awesome, I want to work with him. But you know what's harder doing that? Than having all those movies of being in Gladiator and Walk the Line, and then people now are like, I don't want to fucking work with this fucking crazy asshole. So Joaquin Phoenix is my fucking pick. Because that's very hard to do. Whenever you're hot in Hollywood, most of the time people are throwing scripts at you, not, I can't even fucking do this. Tom Cruise jumping on the couch I thought was crazy until Joaquin went on Letterman with a beard and thought he was a rapper. That was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. And Letterman, who is the greatest late night person of all time. I love Letterman. I thought Late Night died whenever he went off the air. He didn't even know how to handle this fucking dude. And he's had like Madonna fucking drunk on there and shit. He's like, I don't even know what you want me to do with this guy. Like, what the fuck should I ask him? Ask him about his rap career? He just came up with it 5 minutes ago. I wanted to ask him about movies, but apparently he's retired from acting. So that's my pick. He's fucking nuts.
I'll say this.
Please come to a DC movie. We'd love to have you.
Well, he would have been a good Lex Luthor. I'll say this: I think there's a decent
So
chance.
strange.
There's a decent chance, in spoilers for Gladiator, if you haven't seen it, there's a decent chance he probably asked the director, "Hey, can I actually stab Russell Crowe? I personally need it. I don't think I can make it look real." They're like, "Well, no, we can make it look real. No, I got to actually impale this knife in his back. So I'm just gonna do it, and Russell just go with it."
All
What
right,
do you think, Banner?
I'm gonna throw a couple movies out there. I want you guys to tell me who I'm talking about, and we're gonna pretend like we didn't do this a couple of days ago.
Winona Ryder.
God, fuck you, Geiger. So, Winona Ryder, obviously, we all know she stole like $5,500 worth of shit from
Allegedly,
Avenue.
Jesus.
And well, other than the fact that she was arrested and she had drugs on her and she was pretty fucked up at the time.
Okay,
but
well,
either way,
the defense rests.
yeah, she's fucking batshit crazy too, and she comes in and she does movies like Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Little Women, Alien Resurrection back in the day. Had her crazy time, and then now as again flipped around, she did Black Swan, and then just went off
Star
the fucking
Trek.
rails again, and now did Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that she didn't tap into her fucking batshit craziness to take that role as Stranger Things and to deliver the way that she did.
She was Spock's mother too, right?
Yeah, in the Star Trek
Star
reboot.
Trek movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought she did. I love everything she's in. 'Cause she kind of had a stint with Tim Burton there for a while, where she was in a lot of Tim Burton films. And if Tim Burton had the Batman franchise for a couple movies later, she probably would have played someone in there. She's a fantastic actress.
She would have been a good Poison Ivy.
If you're
Yeah, she
too
would've been in a
weird,
lot of-
if you're too weird to be in a Tim Burton film, you have some fucking problems.
She would have been a good Rachel Dawes, who doesn't fucking exist.
Still worked.
We'll just switch actresses. No one will notice.
It'll be fine. It's fine. All right, guys. Last but not least, we got one more. Do you even lift Brock question? This comes from Cat Lover. Nope, it doesn't come from Cat Lover. It comes from Dog Lover, Cat Hater.
Wow. Exact opposite.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. It's a weird Twitter name anyway, so, it's cool. We're still going to read your question, though. The movie Passengers, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, comes out in 2 months, and we've only had one trailer for it, and hardly any press has been allowed on set. With it being rumored for reshoots, is this actually going to suck? Geiger, let's go to you first on this one.
Well, this movie is very, very different, and I've said this before, and I can't. Well, I Am Legend is one that I'll kind of come up with. It's a very hard movie to do when there's ever one or two actors in the whole fucking thing. They're kind of on their own planet, so it's basically going to be Pratt and Lawrence just conversating with each other, and I think they got a bartender there that's supposedly a fucking robot or something like that. It's not a movie that really speaks to me. I know it's not an end of the worldy movie, but it's kind of too sci-fi for me. I know I'm fucking weird, and there's no line in the sand. I love comic book shit, but when it's sci-fi stuff I don't understand, I'm just not into it. Now, it's the Christmas season, so this movie it's coming out kind of the same time as Star Wars. This should be fucking heavily promoted, and it hasn't been, and that's probably because of reshoots or something going on set, something wrong with the script. It's never good, let's just say that. If they don't have enough shit to promote this, they're probably looking to push it back, but they want it to come out on Christmas because that's when a lot of people go and see movies. It's just not something that speaks to me that much. It's probably one that I'll probably go see because we'll do a review on it, and I love fucking Pratt. Pratt's red hot right now. I said he's the next Harrison Ford in a couple podcasts ago. He's red hot. I'll go see him. Jennifer Lawrence is... I've only fucking seen her in X-Men and Silver Linings Playbook, so I'm sorry if I kind of have a scaled performance on
American
her.
Hustle, you liked her in that.
Oh, yeah. Yo, she plays a great crazy chick. Yeah, you're right. So I'm half and half on it. I really don't care. It doesn't really speak to me that much, but some people it does, so if it's your kicks, go see it.
I'll say this. Yes, you should be very worried that we only have one teaser trailer and this is 2 months away. There are movies, some that aren't even tentpole big budget blockbusters that are over a year away and we've received teaser trailers for. So
Justice League.
Exactly. Very good. Case in point. So I would be very concerned that this comes out in the holiday season. We've only seen one trailer for it. I don't know if they had to go back and reshoot a lot of it or if the studio is sort of wanting to back off the marketing budget because they don't think it's going to be that good. But if you're releasing a sci-fi genre film within 3 weeks of a Star Wars movie and you've released one trailer, yeah, I'd be pretty fucking worried. Having said that, Chris Pratt is in it, so inherently I have to think that it is going to be a good movie, or at least he'll be good in it. Of course, I'm going to go see it. I'm intrigued by the trailer, but if you were to ask me, I don't know what studio put out the film, but how good do they feel about this thing's chances at the box office? I'd say not good at this point.
All right, this is what I'm going to say. I think the movie looks fantastic based on the one trailer we saw. So fuck everybody who is worried. I think it looks good, and that's all I'm going off of. Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are two of the hottest stars in Hollywood right now
Like
over the past
Hansel.
couple of years.
They're so hot right now.
How can a movie afford to have both of them in it and still have a marketing budget? They just can't afford to do marketing with these two people in it. They're banking on the
sense.
names. They're banking on their names of going, hey, Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are so hot. They're so big right now. People are going to see it anyway. Especially on the holiday season, you can kind of tell it's already going to be a little bit of a love story. It's a great date movie because you have the sci-fi, some shit blows up, guy's going to love it, but yet they're going to fall in love, the girl's going to love it. Also, Jennifer Lawrence is doing her first sex scene. Who better than to have her first sex scene with than Chris Pratt?
Ken Bone is excited about that based on his Reddit history.
Right there.
God, we have him on the pod.
He's way too hot. Do you think we could get him right
That
now?
would make us.
Yeah, we'd be on the map right there.
I'm talking about just him. Like, we wouldn't even be on it. He'd just be talking.
Well, obviously, we don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give him as much airtime as possible.
Are you kidding me? I don't care what people say. I'm going to go see it. I think it looks great. And again, with Pratt and Lawrence in it, they're going to deliver. And
There's
even
a
if
big
it's
twist to it, right?
There's-
Supposedly.
There is. Some people claim they spoiled the twist in the trailer. I've seen the trailer 3 times. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't. Well, it's not a comic book, so it's not like it's
Yeah.
been written 40 years ago. But it does
They're all
say
robots.
there's a reason we didn't wake up or something like that. There's a big twist. Banner, I have kind of for both of you, kind of a tangent question. It kind of relies though, but is the holiday season dead? And not dead, but it used to be a big. Okay, once spring
Christmas
came-
Day used to be a
summer
huge
is hot,
day.
but the holiday season is huge because a lot of families. My family doesn't do this, but a lot of families go to movies on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and stuff like that. But is it dead, and did Star Wars kill it? Because are all these people just afraid to fucking go up against these guys? Because if 3 people out of your family have seen Star Wars, but 7 haven't, and you're going with 10 people, won't you just be like, okay, I'll go fucking see Star Wars again. Let's not see that. Did it fucking kill it? Because a Star Wars movie, I think, is coming out every Christmas now, it looks like.
Banner?
Yeah, it's coming out like 2 weeks before Christmas. I think that we are getting too many good movies from the beginning of November to the end of December. And I think that they have to strategically place themselves so that you don't have a Star Wars going up against a Doctor Strange or a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them against a Star Wars or a Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Or even this Passengers. Like, this isn't going to be as big as those other films, so they have to find a good place to fit in so that they still get the viewers that they need to make the money. And I think it's just it's kind of a posturing thing, and people are going to go see all these movies, so they're trying to make it to where people can see all these movies and they're not kind of cannibalizing each other.
I'll say this. That's a great question, Geiger, because this landscape has changed a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. What it's done is it's made November a much stronger ground for tentpole films, because January and February, as we know, Deadpool was the vast exception to the rule, but those have always been dumping grounds. That's where studios put their shittiest movies. But now Marvel has put a flag in November. They have Doctor Strange this year and Thor Ragnarok next November. People obviously do not want to go toe-to-toe with Star Wars unless you're alternative programming. Like, I believe last year that movie Sisters with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler came out because a lot of times people go to the movies and just want to see something cool that's going to be like not
as a tangent. I went to see Star Wars on opening night, and of course there was a line clear down the escalator. So I looked, and I had my Star Wars shirt off, my dad, and I looked at this person, and I said, "Is this the line for Sisters?" And this guy fucking died out fucking laughing. It was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. And my dad just like looked, it's like he's a fucking smart ass.
You walk into
this line for Sisters.
you walk into Sisters with your lightsaber. It's like, why the fuck did you bring that? Like, in case anyone tries to get in my
line for
face.
Sisters at 10 a.m. in the morning.
I thought I was gonna get tickets tonight for Star Wars opening night, and instead I had to settle for Sisters.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up Deadpool, Jeff, because I disagree with everything that Hollywood says, where there's hot times for movies. So if it's a good movie, it's a good trailer, I don't care what the fuck month it is. Maybe it's because I live in Texas and the weather's pretty much always nice here, but even when I lived up north, it's snow. I don't care. If I'm always looking for something to do with my wife. If it looks like a good trailer, I'm going to go. I don't care if it's December. I don't care if it's March. I don't care. I don't really care.
Right.
I disagree with that. And Deadpool proved that fucking wrong, I think. If it's a good
and even BVS, that came out in March.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the big blockbuster time.
Yeah,
And
I hope
still made a shit ton of money.
more people should do that. X-Men should probably fucking do that because they're competing against people that are out of their league right now. They should drop a fucking movie in February. I'd be game to go see an X-Men movie in February, but not once it's after BVS and after Civil War. I'm kind of like, I'm good. It's not a good enough trailer for me.
Yeah, honestly, X-Men's too broke to even try and... The month is the least of their worries with releasing their movies. Yeah. It's fucking... But I think the main thing people say is when kids are in school, it tends to not be as popular a month. So the holiday season and the summers, obviously, are just inherently better. But I agree. A good movie is going to make money no matter when it's released. I mean, Deadpool... Obviously, the marketing was great, but word of mouth carried that thing more than any movie I'd ever seen in the last 5 or 10 years. If you didn't see that movie, then you get out of my face.
Well, here's the thing. I'll say this about Deadpool, too. Deadpool was one that I went in. I was like, I'm going to see it opening night, but I didn't pre-order my tickets. I was able to get tickets for it opening night, on Friday night. I think we went at like 8 o'clock at night. And then I find out that, oh, hey, look how much money it made and how it continued. Word of mouth, like you said, Jeff, that's what carried that movie. It was in theaters for like a month, which is incredible for a movie.
Yeah.
Well, and just talking about that, about the kids being in school, I know there's a certain demographic and a kind of marketing goes into this, but Deadpool doesn't matter because if it's rated R, the kids aren't going to see it.
Actually, funny story about that. I had like a 12-year-old kid sitting next to me, and you know at the beginning when Ryan Reynolds and What's-Her-Face are doing all those sex scenes for every holiday?
Yeah, holiday.
Yeah, for every month or whatever. I look over, this kid has the biggest fucking grin on his face, and his mom is next to him going, what did I just let my kid bring me to?
Well, they did a good job in that movie early.
Wheelbarrow with my girlfriend from school, Mom.
Yeah, they did a good job in that movie letting these stupid-ass parents know right off the bat, this is a rated R movie. So if you don't fucking know what that letter means, we'll show you in the first 5 minutes.
Sorry, I know we went a little long, but that was a good conversation, so I wanted to keep it going.
Never apologize.
Nope. That was perfect. Guys, we got anything else we want to get off our chests?
Nope.
I just want to say I'll just delete. This was a great episode. I'll just keep deleting every episode the first time. We'll recapture this magic.
All right, so next time it's going to be Alex English, our man behind the scenes on the pod with me and Geiger, because Jeff is now kicked off the pod.
That sounds fun. I'll be there too. That sounds awesome.
He's not allowed ever again. Guys, follow us on Twitter at Broforce Squad, www.broforcesquad.com. We're starting to put some good content out. We're starting to put a little some of our thoughts that we want to get off our chest that we can't get off on the pods. Follow us on Facebook, Broforce Squad, 3 words. We're also on YouTube. You can check out all our content on there as well. Pretty much if you have the internet, you put in Broforce Squad, you're going to find us. Thanks for listening, everybody, and have a good one.